Welcome to Dimensions, NIT Puducherry's official podcast. This is an initiative of the Literary Committee of NITPY. I'm Manjari, and I'll be hosting the first episode of this podcast. So, it's the first episode. We wanted it to be a very special one. So, here we have with us a very special guest. Just a brief introduction about who this man is. This man is a person of an uncountable number of accolades. He has a plethora of publications, is an avid researcher, an academician, an educator, and also an administrator. He's none other than the Director of NITPY, Dr. Makarand Madhao Ghangrekar. Sir, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and being here. It's an honor to have you here. So I'll start by saying this. We know you as the recently appointed Director of NITPY, and we also know that you have worn many hats in the last couple of years. We know you to be a professor of IIT Kharagpur, and besides that, we don't know who is the man behind Dr. Ghangrekar. So, in order for us to get a better idea of who that is, I would like to, if you could introduce about yourself through maybe your childhood and your upbringing and how that has influenced the man you are today, it would be great, sir.
Okay, thank you, Anjali. So, my childhood, I have my education throughout in the government schools. So, apart from studies, I actively used to participate in all other activities. I may not be winner, but still participation was really important. Having said so, I could win some awards in the painting, then the debate competitions, then chess. But I was more interested into ground sports, which I always tried. Always failed, but still happily enjoyed participation in, let it be cricket, let it be football and hockey. I could not match ever, but I could get chance to represent my school or colleges or even IIT Kharagpur. I was participating as a team member. May not be the best player, but as a player, I was there. So that brings a sportsman spirit in the person, and that helps you to digest. It teaches you to digest the failure, and that makes you a better human being. That is why I always say participation is more important rather than winning the race. So this is what I tried throughout my life
So, you're an avid fan of sports, sir.
to some extent.
So what would you say is your most favorite sport or something that you enjoyed the most among all of them?
During my college days, definitely cricket was the most watched because TV started in '83. So we were lucky to watch the live telecast of the TV matches. Then lawn tennis matches, tournaments that I observed, and sometimes football.
So you were a bowler, batsman, all rounder.
I'm not best even at batting or bowling, but yeah, to some extent, batting I can do well than bowling.
It's great to know that our director was he was so enthusiastic when it came to sports as well. And the point that you made about participation is key. I think that's something that we all need to definitely pursue in our lives. So going from your childhood and seeing in the position that you are now, it's something very inspirational to all of us. This career that you have taken as an administrator, as an educator, as a professor, is that something that you were interested in as a child, or is it something that you grew into, or something that just happened?
That is very interesting. The life takes turn. The life take you to the destiny where you should be. While like a student like you pursuing my undergraduation, I never had intent to be in academics. I always wanted to be a businessman, doing the things fast which I likes. We should not spend even an extra minute for any task what it deserves. I mean, beyond certain time, if you keep on dragging, it's anyway not going to add on to the specification or means specification of the product that you are targeting. So we should um, we should devote some time what is required for completing that task, and we should try to complete that task much ahead of that time. That is how I looked at my life. So while pursuing undergraduation, you people also might be having similar experience, but my experience was little different. I always felt that these people are doing a lot of time waste. I mean, they can do much better things rather than optimally they can utilize their time and resources available in the institute. But these people are wasting, and that driven me to be a businessman. And to be frank, for first 2 years of my career after passing out BTech, I did contractorship. I was a civil engineering contractor executing water supply projects as well as to manage the money flow. Some other civil engineering peripheral structures also I used to do. But later on realized that if you have to compete, you need a higher education, and that driven me to go for MTech. I pursued a master's from VNIT Nagpur, the then now that time VRC Nagpur, now it is VNIT Nagpur, master in environmental engineering, with the intent that after MTech also I will continue my contractorship which I was doing. But somehow I got offer from actually then I joined Maharashtra Water Supply and Sewerage Board, continued there for 3 months, but did not find that assistant engineer trainee job very attractive. Left that and joined National Environmental Engineering Research Institute Nagpur. I stayed there for a year pursuing research, and that exposure developed inclination towards research. That, but it was not that easy. I mean, when moving from contractor to the research position, when as a contractor you have your pockets are filled with money, but when you become a researcher your pockets are empty. So uh, to adjust to that it took some time, but I continued that passion towards research and started my publication journey since I was in NIRI, and that developed interest in research, and I joined IIT Bombay for pursuing PhD, and after that I'm throughout in academia.
I think that's very one of the biggest lessons that I think I probably could take from your life, and also for our viewers and audience and listeners, is that when you think of doing something, life takes you to a different place, but that might be much better than what you might have expected, because you're such a well respected individual right now. So because you mentioned you wanted to be a business magnate earlier, a few years from now, do you see that as something in the future for yourself?
Uh, I think I'm still a businessman. Academia provide you opportunity to do consultancy, and I did a lot of that while at IIT Kharagpur. While I was with government of Maharashtra almost for 8 years, a lot of consulting work I have done. I am the first one in India to promote the anaerobic treatment technologies in early days. So, fortunately, I could. My publication also talks about it. Possibly, you name the country, and I have done some consulting work there for at least either troubleshooting of the anaerobic reactor or designing the anaerobic reactor. So, the publication and professional life. Uh, it is linked together because your publication gives you identity, and based on that the people look at your credentials, continuous presence in that subject area, and then they develop a confidence on you, and then they approach you to solve their problems. So almost all state in India as well as many other countries including South American countries, some or the other way I have been connected to solve their problems. So that way it is still a professional life, and that helps in teaching also. I mean, when you keep yourself updated, so that makes you a better person while teaching to the student. When you share your experience, the product that you develop will be a product which is ready for implementing many things on the field, rather than only restricting them to a bookish language, bookish knowledge. So this is what I looked at.
So, when you mentioned that you've had an impact in other countries as well, based on quick research that I've done for this, I've got to know that you're a very well traveled individual from just from me just searching you up on Google. So, based on all of your travels that you have done, either professionally or personally, what countries, I can break this up into two parts. What country maybe did you you saw something special in, or something that stood out to you? And also, if you had faced any, being an Indian and being a very successful Indian, if you had faced any sort of cultural inhibitions, maybe some language barriers or some difference in cultures, and that was either something interesting or something difficult, if you could talk about that.
Couple of points you ask. I mean, cultural barrier. I worked in UK for a semester. at the University of Newcastle upon Tyne. So I could see a difference between the young and the older people. Older people are really ready to accommodate, ready to help. Young people are busy in their own career shaping, so they do not have time to look at what some other person is in need or not. But I will tell you, once we were traveling and searching for some address, the old lady was sitting next to us in the bus. So she realized we are in need of something. So she immediately approached, oh, what are you looking for? And then tried to guide us once we got down from the bus and help us. So they will come forward themselves. I mean, it's not that racial, I never face in any of the country. In fact, non-English speaking countries, when you go, the language is a barrier, but otherwise the people are really nice. I mean, if you are nice, the whole world remain nice with you. I mean, that should not be a problem. There are few exceptions that happens, but other than that, I enjoyed traveling. Many of the European countries I have traveled, even Japan, I face much problem in the language, particularly negotiating the ticket window for tickets and all. It's really difficult task, and it's all machinized. There is no, many places there is no human interface. Japanese language you cannot understand. How to convert it into English also, that needs guidance. I mean, for me to convert that. So, but people help there. I mean, saying that we are struggling to book a ticket, somebody will come forward, convert it in the English version, and then we were able to manage that. So, in general, people are really nice. But what I felt is, we Indian, when we go abroad, my appeal to all our students and all our faculty and staff community, that we go as ambassador of India. So we should take care that we elevate the standard and impression of our country rather than allowing it to reduce. I will tell you one incident which I faced and which I shared with our faculty earlier also. I mean, I was having a coffee with a Turkish professor, a senior professor, almost 65 plus, in the UK. One evening we were sitting and having coffee. One Indian looking girl came, and since the tables were limited, so she shared our table, sat in front of us. Turkish professor welcomed her, said hi, hello, that is their normal courtesy, and asked her, I think you are from India. She said, no, 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 I am from Europe. And, see, you looks like Indian, then why do you hide? So she got angry. No, no, I am a UK citizen. Why do you say I am Indian? So then she left. But then the Turkish professor said, look, Professor Ghangrekar, as India is doing great, the Turkey is not doing that great. But wherever I go, I feel happy and proud that I am a Turkish origin. Though I am in UK, but still I don't hide that I am Turkish, born Turkey. So why, he asked me point blank, why you Indian try to hide? Look, professor, I mean, some of them may be having different experience, but I am not hiding. Whatever I have, I feel proud of my country, and we have a strong 10,000, more than 10,000 years of civilization. So we have our own way of leading life, and there may be some lacunas. Over the period of time, we will overcome those. But still, I feel proud of what our country is. So this is what I mean. We should all of us, when we go abroad, we should not hide ourselves, our identity, and wherever we go, we cannot. Our skin identifies us that we are from the South Asian continent. The color of the skin may vary to some level, but the pigmentation, the pigments in our skin makes you distinct than the other European people. So that we should have.
I think when you mentioned the last point about being proud that we are Indian, because you were right. A couple of years ago, at least, anybody that I had seen would not be proud to say, I'm from India. Now the situations have changed, and people like you,
Is changing.
yeah, we are going there and we are achieving more. So that was something that it makes me very proud to be an Indian. So you were talking about your travels, you were talking about sports. We see you as an individual who has so much, such a busy and tight schedule, as I would assume. So how do you maintain work life and personal life? How do you balance those two out? Um,
Yeah, no, for that, support from wife is equally important. So I'm fortunate enough to have a good understanding person as my wife. So as you ask, and I forgot to respond to you said that you might have gone for personal travel to abroad. I never had been to personal travel to abroad. Forget about I never had been to personal travel to even Indian different states. So I always club the official travel with 1 or 2 days extra leave as a personal travel. So this is how I manage, and my wife is happy with that arrangement so far of almost 28 years of our married life. So she has never complained about that. So professionalism is one thing. We should not intermingle with our professional commitments and the requirements, and then take out 1 or 2 days extra for the personal life. Then the professionalism should not come into picture. I will share one experience. I had one colleague while working in the UK. He is a French origin person. While we were working on a manuscript, his wife called and said, "Look, I'm feeling not feeling well, so please come." He said, "Nothing doing. There is a phone call. You call, ambulance will come, pick you up, the doctor will treat you and drop you back." So this was the one response. Then somehow we could not complete till Friday. That was the target. So we decided we will come on Saturday and finish the remaining part. He said, "Nothing doing. Now Saturday is my wife's time, so I will not come to the department. So whatever you do, we will meet next Monday, the coming Monday." So that level of professionalism, I have seen the people, and it's really nice to witness it. That the people, the tenacity that they have, they will be there on their office days from 7:30 to 8 p.m. and judiciously utilize the time allocated to them for 6 to 7 p.m. It's not that in the European universities they have to abide with the time chart. The time flexibility is there. I mean, 30 or 35 hours they have to complete in a week. That can be possible in 3 days or 4 days. It is as per their liberty, managing their classes assigned to them. So, but they judiciously utilize. Not like Indian people, they will go sit in the canteen for hours and chat. So that they won't do. Even the mug of coffee, they will go fill it up and sit and start concentrating. Having said so, I will improvise here that the weather conditions there are different. The cold weather countries, so you can have a tenacity continuously working for 3 4 years, 3 4 hours. You still don't feel that tired as you might feel under hot condition here. And we do need a break under this warm condition of working 1.5 hour or 2 hour is manageable. Beyond that, it is taxing or tiring. So a break, coffee break or tea break, whatever individual need, or even a hot water break, some break in between. So that makes you recharge again, and then you can concentrate. So another thing I will say, which I followed from my student days as well, our discipline should be more stringent than the institute discipline. If I am coming to the institute at 9 a.m. because I wish to come, not because the institute expects me to come. I make my student aware that even if you are entering at 9:30, you are 30 minutes late. Get convinced. Though the late mark is not being put on your presently record, but you are 30 minutes late. So get convinced that you are not within time. So our discipline, if they are higher, they are more stringent than the institute discipline. You won't feel stress of that. So there you will feel relaxed. Start loving to the work which is assigned to you. So then you will enjoy it in a much better way. You will be able to contribute in a much better way. And then since you are involved mentally and physically also, if required, for completing that task, such task will be completed with better specification, better quality that you will be able to maintain, and in the process you will derive pleasure of completing that task. So that way the thing should be done. This is what my appeal to my young students and even the faculty members.
I think when you had mentioned and started with the story of your colleague, and also when you had mentioned about your wife, I think that's very refreshing to this generation, particularly because we see nowadays that because of this balance that we try to maintain, um, the saying of the happy wife, happy life that gets broken. So it was very heartwarming for me to hear that. And also, when you talked about discipline, I think that's something that we definitely need to implement, and I'll definitely implement it in my life as well. So we've gone abroad in this conversation. I want to bring it back to your childhood. You're from Maharashtra, Nagpur originally. How has the progression been from Maharashtra to Kharagpur, where you were primarily working at previously, to now Karaikal?
So culturally, we are still connected. I mean, the rituals may differ little bit from here and there, from
Correct.
state to state, but culturally we are still connected. Psychologically, any relatives wish to visit to my residence, they don't need visa. So that's the best thing that I will define. Though little far, and though I'm born in Nagpur, but I'm away from Nagpur since '92. So it is 32 years I'm outside. So people are, as I said, people are nice. You need to understand the people, and if you tune a little bit, the workable language understanding that you can develop if you develop that inclination, workable means language communication that you can manage within the short time, and then the life is enjoyable. I mean, I didn't see any problem I face while staying in West Bengal. While staying in the different parts of Maharashtra as well, I stayed in Aurangabad for 8 years, then in Pune for more than 6 months, and South Maharashtra also for some time, and then West Bengal for 20 and a half years, and now I am in Karaikal. So it is good to explore new culture, and that to understand the people of India in while staying with them. So that is all the more important rather than only exchanging the thoughts in office from the different state. So even my wife is also enjoying. So that good support I have.
Again, very refreshing to hear when you speak about the fact that if you're nice and if your heart is pure, then any place will also treat you. It will reciprocate that to you. Since we've landed on the topic of Karaikal, we can speak about NIT Puducherry and certain elements of advice that you would give. Specifically, I would want to ask you, because in NIT Puducherry we have a large number of courses, electives, and courses which are non-academic also. Given your expertise on so many different areas, if you could introduce a new course, either as an elective or maybe as a full-time course that students could learn, what would that be?
From engineering perspective, I would say, I mean, when we are in a position to expand, I would like to introduce the courses related to biosciences and chemical engineering, because these are the basis of engineering. And we're looking at the location where we are located. So courses related to the biodiversity, which is means which is a blessing here. Also, the courses related to coastal engineering, because we are on a coast and we are on the advantage exploring that. Then architecture and regional planning, that also I think is a required course. And then Indian knowledge system, so that is another social sciences that are the immediate courses which I have in my mind to start.
Are there any non-academic courses that you would be
That
interested in?
anyway, I feel I'm not that competent. Students are doing much better job than I am. But I would encourage a student to take part, and the fest that you are conducting, social and cultural fest, as well
Yes.
as academic fest. So we would like to see them going into the greater and greater magnitude and scale the days to come. Why I am saying so? Because till now you are managing with the limited infrastructure that we were having. Now, fortunately, by end of this year, we will have all infrastructure in place. So our student body will be in a better position to attract other institute students by offering them good place to stay. Seminar halls and auditorium, they will be there to utilize. And I look at the increment in the scales at which you are conducting these programs in the past.
So more good things to come.
Yes.
On that note, when you were talking about more good things to come and more things in infrastructure which will be implemented in NITPY, recently NITPY's NIRF ranking had skyrocketed. It's now below 100, which is a big milestone for us. If any sort of ideas that you have, or what we can do as a college, whether it's the students or faculty, to exponentially grow that ranking, make it even better in the next couple of years.
So, at such, NIT Pondicherry has done a good job in the last 2 years by improving their ranking, improving institute ranking from 130 plus to within
Yes,
100.
sir.
And we do have a scope for improving it further. The major scope is improving faculty to student to faculty ratio, that we are trying, and we'll recruit faculty very soon if the process is on. Secondly, the publication and consulting and the research activity of the faculty. So my foremost target would be to encourage faculty to get into to apply for the research project, to get additional grants. It's not only the money that matters, the amount that is made available for the faculty, it is at his disposal within the limited framework of the funding agency. But in addition to that, it opens up a scope for student scholarship. So I was very clear when I joined IIT Kharagpur. From the day, even in fact from the state government, I never utilized a single rupee of the institute for my research. So all my research has come up from the grants which I have generated. All the infrastructure lab I have generated, it is through my projects. I have not bothered any of the institute, rather donated all this facility to the institute when I left that institute. So I was lucky, rather everybody may not be as lucky as I was, but I would like to inculcate that culture to the faculty members. And when they bring money, there will be additional student support, there will be additional postdoc, so which will be who can mentor the master students as well as the newly joined PhD students. So that way, a group will be built up. I mean, when you have that ambience of working, obviously the institute will be benefited in the long run. And once we develop that culture, it will go on. And I target that maybe above 50, means coming to below 50 may be a bit challenging task, but reaching up to 50 is easily achievable if we march in the right direction by fixing all the requirements what is defined by the NRF. It is easily achievable, and I wish that down the line 3 to 4 years we should be somewhere between 50 to 60
Have the
NRF ranking.
capability.
Yes, yeah, we'll do that. I'm confident.
Yes. So when you were talking about research and honors and scholars, um, it's very clear to us you have a large number of publications and you've written so many books also about environmental engineering and wastewater management and such. So for our college research scholars or those students also who want to go further and do research as opposed to maybe just a sort of 9 to 5 job, do you have any specific advice for those who want to dive into academics and start research work?
I will define it with the different level. BTech, the scope is different. Master, the scope is different. And
Okay.
research scholars' expectation level is entirely different.
Right.
BTech, if you have opportunity and time and physical energy, you should get in touch with some of the faculty of your subject interest. Engage with them for Saturday, Sunday. We have enthusiastic faculty who are ready to spend their time, and I am saying many of the faculties are available even on Saturday, Sunday. So understand the topic in which they are working, match with your interest, whatever the way that you can contribute. Like I am studying the AI and ML tools from my student. I have no expertise in that subject, and I have no hesitation even in sitting with you. And if you are ready to teach me AI, I will sit with you and spare time study. So a teacher always need to be student, and that enthusiasm and that curiosity should be always there to have a researcher. Why curiosity for what? Why the things happens, and how the things may be happening naturally, but how we can define it in our engineering, whatever the domain knowledge that we have, how can we define it by our engineering matrix? So there are, means the area is gray. If you whatever the expertise that the BTech student will have, maybe programming, coding, if they can help out the faculty, it will save the faculty time also. It will give the student also, BTech student, exposure in that subject. And in terms of if you are able to convert it into the conference presentation or even a journal presentation, it's a good addition to the CV as far as the BTech student placement is concerned. When some of you are aspiring for MS or PhD abroad, so definitely such contribution gives you extra leverage for claiming a scholarship. So that way it helps. For master students, anyway they have to do 1 year dedicated project. So now expectation from them is different. Master student, I do understand they will also require continuous guiding, but not as like the BTech student. So they are higher birth students. So telling them in a short about half an hour if I express, so they should be able to execute rest of the day by themselves. So that is the expectation from master student. PhD student, if I speak with them for half an hour, they should be able to execute it for a week. So that's the expectation from them. Birth is different. So that maturity and if, with the devotion, if they put up 8 to 10 hours a day, the devote for undertaking that task. I don't think things are that difficult, and I am very positive and optimistic about the things happening. Failure is a part of the game. I mean, we need not to get depressed or feel pressure about the failures. Failures are bound to happen, and get convinced. Had it been the thing so easy, somebody else would have done it much earlier. The things were difficult, that is why they are left to address. And then you have a challenge, accept that challenge, and work on that. Solution will come out.
When you had mentioned even you're ready to learn from anybody who is that, I think that's very humbling, and that's something that all listeners of NIT Puducherry and also whoever is watching should definitely take that from you. Um, so we are reaching the end of this session, sir. So far, it's been a very good conversation with you. Uh, if you could leave this uh, conversation on any with a certain note from your side, that a certain idea that you would like to have, maybe your own mantra for success, or some advice or any sort of thing that you tell yourself as motivation, just to end this off.
To end this, till I am present here, one thing I would like to contribute is to make this campus as sustainable as we can. So minimize waste, judiciously utilize water, also explore the possibility of wastewater utilization for various horticulture and other purposes. So we can be a model township. We are anyway going to be a township, so gated community. So that will be an example test bed for others to visit and implement that in the other places. For students, my last advice is, I mean, be consistent in whatever efforts that you are doing. That's what I said in the previous question, that the failures are part of the game. Don't get hesitated or depressed with the failures. Keep trying. Definitely, today it may not be my day, but tomorrow certainly I should make it my day. Now, when I fail, so I should not get depressed and just sit and complain for what this was not there, that was not there, that is why I fail. That is not the way to lead a life. Understand what are the resources that you have. The presently available resources may be limited, but evaluate yourself. Have you explored them to the best possible way? Have you utilized them to the best possible way? If not, then find out a solution. How can you utilize whatever resources available at your end? Make best use of that. Try to increment, try to join hand with others who are ready to complement with you, so that you get access to their resources also, and start building a team. So my basic lookout here, or basic target here, is to build a team in a need-based area of science and engineering, so that as an institution we are able to successfully contribute to solve many of the problems. Either they may be scientific problems, or they may be social problems. So we have even humanities department. So taking help of a team, we should be able to come up with the solution which is sustainable, and which will definitely help in elevating the standard of living for the society in some or the other way. Even the small segment, if you fix it up, it could be good contribution as an institution that we look forward for benefit of the society.
Based on your advice, I will definitely, from our end, we will definitely try to make this as sustainable as a campus as we can. That's something that it really stuck with me, and we don't think about that too often, about sustainability. And also, what you had mentioned about today might be a downfall, and tomorrow it will be something better. Thank you